30,000 mile review of the C300. This is a refreshed model, so it's got the different headlights. It comes with a different key. I'm starting to drive my SQ8 more, so I'm driving the C300 less, so I've just transferred the baby seats into that one. This is the fuel economy that we average in town, so 15, it's not that great. But overall, for the 30,000 miles, it's been 31 mpg, which is pretty good. Everything is working pretty good. You can see the miles. So on this fuel tank, I've done 240.3 miles. I've got 30,239 miles done on the car. It's been great, honestly. The only thing that I've had to do is that coolant that got a little low before the next service, but the service is due on it anyway soon. I think now the service is going to be due. If you don't know how to check that, you just click this button and then you scroll this way to service, click enter. Right there, Assistance Plus. Next service is due in 40 days. I normally just keep it honestly set to this one. I just like to know the speed rather than looking at the gauge itself. Especially out here, the ticket, if you get like a couple miles over, you get a ticket. So it's not worth it. Yeah, honestly, it's been a good car. You can see how much fuel I got. I've got a little bit over half a tank. What else have I done? I've changed the speakers, as you guys might remember. So those have held up nicely. The interior's held up pretty good. So the C63, if you guys remember, I was having problems with the leather in the center. This is not real like leather. This is their fake leather, so it's fine. This was damaged by the previous owner, so that's still like that. I did glue it down a little bit to preserve it. But honestly, the seats have held up great. The rest of it's fine. I've been really impressed with it. The only thing that I'm not a huge fan of, and I know in the other one I didn't like the black, but this fake wood is like not that great either. It's fading in certain spots. It's fading around the edges. So like, I don't know if you can tell, like the tops. And on this side, like there, and the back is around the edges, so that's kind of annoying. Everything else has been great. Every day you've been driving it. I had a hard time setting up the dash cam. So for this car, we didn't bother. We just put the front dash cam in and we run it right off the main here in the cigarette lighter. Normally I hardwire every dash cam, but in this one it was too much faff. Which is a little annoying, but you know, that's fine. So I know a lot of you that have the Alcantara seats like we have in this one. I know I didn't want them, but they've been actually fine. I would never pick Alcantara again. I don't personally like it. I always just feel like it's making me warmer, and I just don't like the texture. I've always had leather. That's what I want. If I was to get another one, honestly, I know for a fact, don't buy the best one that everybody wants and then get rid of it to get a cheaper one. The cheaper one is never going to be that good one. So for me, the biggest problem with this car is that it's not my C63. So I bought that one new, and I do by accident compare this all the time to that. I look at the fuel economy. It's similar, to be fair, like in the conditions that we drive it. So the short little trips to my wife's work or short little trip to the park that's really local, I'm getting the same kind of mileage I would in the C63, and that one was just more fun to drive. So that's the downside. But if you haven't had the pinnacle car, then this is great, C300. I did drive the C200 in England, and honestly, don't waste your time. The money difference between a C200 and a C300 is like, it's almost nothing. And honestly, just listen, just don't even bother. It was so slow, and it didn't feel anything like this car. It was just, I don't want to say horrible, but like, it was just so slow. My God. I think a C200 is more for people that just want to be in the brand, where the C300 is like, you're kind of already in the brand maybe, but it's a pretty good combination because it is fast. To me, it's not going to be fast because I've had the C63 and I'm going to compare it. But for day-to-day use, it's fine. The only thing that really bothers me is on the initial acceleration, the pedal is a little slow. So you're going to pull out an intersection or a roundabout we have in the UK. There's a delay. So you'll put your foot down and there's a delay before the car moves. And that annoys me so much to the point where I've tried to program it out. So I put a sprint booster in this car and that basically gives it a little bit more juice. So when you give it like 50% throttle, it's really giving like 80% throttle. And then I try and trick the computers so there isn't a delay. There's still a delay. It's just slightly less. And other ways you can fix it is people are going to say put it in Sport Plus, or Sport Plus is very jerky. And then it revs the absolute bejesus out of this engine, which is a little, it doesn't sound that great. But yeah, I drive it mostly in Sport and the Pedal Commander on race. But everything else has been great. Honestly, for me, I couldn't keep it forever just because the next newest thing will be more entertaining and I just won't drive this. It'll just sit like we've seen in the past with some of the other cars. Like I don't even think you guys know, I had a Clio that I never drove. It just sat here for 3 years until we got rid of it. I got it because everyone kept saying you can't drive the cars that I have here everywhere. You need a cheaper car. But proved them wrong, I guess. So that sucks, but yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully this has helped you. So don't get a C200. They're not worth your time. Stretch for the C300 if you haven't already had something better. And if you can do it, stretch for a C63 because every part is better. The fuel efficiency isn't you're never going to get 40, but I've shown in my videos I get 39 point, I think it was 2, so it's almost 40.